Hello, YouTubers. Some days ago or some weeks ago, don't remember really now, but my record collecting buddy, Jonas, Sublime Media, showed his prog records, and I thought, well, good idea, very interesting to see which one I got. And I thought, well, if I did a prog or showing my Swedish prog records, well, idea for a video. I got quite a lot of it, and it's not all that incredibly good, but there's still a lot that I miss and I would like to have. But well, if anybody would find it interesting, I could show some or have a quick walk through my prog records. It might become a very long video, might have to do it in different parts, might have to even do it in different dates because there's some videos, or there are some records to show. But first I'm going to show you two important books that are good for inspiration. First, this one, Jonas have talked about it as well, the Encyclopedia of Swedish Progressive Music 1967 to 1979, by Tobias Pettersson and editor Ulf Henningsson. This is a masterpiece when it comes to checking up Swedish prog. It lists and well, the records and the groups with some nice pictures of the sleeves and also other pictures and some short biographies of the groups. Very good to have, and it also came with this CD with the baby grandmothers, turn on, tune in, drop out. Very good. Well, I bought this when it was all new. I was in a store, a record store in Solna. I didn't even know about the existence of this book, but then the owner asked me if I had heard of it, so it had just been issued by Premium Publishing. So I bought it, and I bought the accompanying CD box. That has also been a great source of inspiration. Also, if you're familiar with the Swedish language, I can really I would like to show this book, 99 prog-plattor, 99 prog records. This book has chosen 99 records and has done a bit of a deeper analysis or text about each album. Here we have one of Jonas' favorites, Jojo Wadenius, Goddag Goddag. Sadly absent in my collection so far. So that's a good place to start. The first, the encyclopedia. Sometimes we wonder about some of the artists in this book. Are they really to be considered as prog? But if they have some sort of proggish feeling, I would consider them as prog, most of them. So let's start. That book only is between 1967 to 1979, but there are groups that could be slightly proggish after 1979, of course. And on the Manifest label that I collect, we have this group called Aldrig I livet, Hjärta av glas from 1983. Bit more of a rock group, but they definitely could belong in, have their progressive moments. Jonas may have told you, you may have heard that there are different direction in the Swedish prog music. We have the more folk music based, we have the songster based with very political lyrics, and we have the progressive music that we can compare with, well, UK progressive music with long jams. We have jazzy prog, we have more rock and roll prog, so. And all of this will fit into this big group of prog records. Also, I have mixed in some non-Swedish groups in here and non-Swedish artists. And one of them is the Norwegian singer-songwriter Åge Aleksandersen, who is mostly known in Sweden for a song called Ljus och värme, which was a bit of a big hit in Sweden, mainly for Swedish dance bands. But it's not really typical of his style of music. He lies somewhere in between Swedish singer Björn Afzelius and Swedish singer and songwriter Ulf Lundell. I like him. He has written many good songs. Sadly, the one he's most famous for, Use of Värme, is probably one of the worst songs I've heard with him. Anyway, this is Leva livet from 1983 on Platesällskapet, and this is his Swedish albums with almost the same sleeve, issued on the hyper-commercial Marianne Music in 1985, and it's a bit of a compilation of his biggest Norwegian hits, but with Swedish lyrics. Yeah. Then we have this one, Eldorado, on Platesällskapet from 1980 something, 87, 88, I think so. And this is my favorite, Solregn from 1989. Great lyrics, if you understand Norwegian. Over to a group. This is one of my favorite prog albums here, with the group Arbete och Fritid. This is their third or maybe fourth album, and it's just called Arbete och Fritid. It's a big, interesting mix between progressive music, folk music, Swedish folk music, and also Turkish folk music. Well, it's on the M&W label, which was one of the biggest progressive labels in Sweden. M&W, Silence, Manifest, Nacksving, some others, Musiklaget. This is very good. And this is also Arbete och Fritid, Se upp för livet. This is double album from 19 something 1970. I have to check. Oh, it doesn't say. It doesn't say. Well, anyway, it's from the latter part of the 1970s, I think, and it also has included this leaflet with the lyrics. And another one is this one, called. What's it called? Just says Arbete och Fritid here too, from 1978-79. Among the musicians on this album we have, we got Torbjörn Adelli, we have got the late great Thomas Meragat, among others. Very nice. Okay, some Norwegian prog. We have Arbeidslaget has Vömmölbakken, Grovarbeid. They were a bit of a Norwegian version of Elskeförat, or I've talked about Elskeförat earlier, and I will probably during this video too. Folk music with some sense of comedy, a bit Irish, a bit Norwegian folk music, very acoustic, with very political lyrics. This was issued on the biggest progressive label in Norway called Mai, and if you haven't seen the label, it looks like this. I would say, I said earlier that this group and another group that was called Vömmölbakken was they remind me of Elskeförat, and I think Elskeförat listened to these groups quite a lot. And there's another one with the same group here, Arbeidslaget, Vömmölbakken, Varsko här, also on Mai, and from 1970 something. I'm not bothered watching that. These Norwegian groups aren't to be found in this book because it's just Swedish. But I think I like to mix it. Right, one of the real weirdos. Oh, sorry. Well, he did it all himself. He made the music himself, he recorded it himself, and he issued it himself. Was Erik Aschan. This is a reissue of his first album from 1973. The reissue is from 2001, I think. Yeah. This is quite interesting. Here we have the lyrics, and here we have also some newspaper clips from when the original record came out. Interesting songs, quite crudely recorded, not that incredible, but definitely interesting in its own right. And this is the reissue from 2001. It's quite rare, but the original issue from 1973 is impossibly rare. He made a lot of records that he produced and issued himself. This is a later one, and here he's changed his name to Erik Gabriel Villan Syrker. And he's written here, före detta Aschan, a previous Aschan, or former Aschan, sorry, former. Mina sånger kommer alltid att leva. My songs will always live. That's the right spirit. And his from 1982, I think. And he has made, I think he's made 4 albums, well, up until 3 albums before this one. Erik Aschan, Erik Aschan 2, Erik Gabriel Villan Aschan, så länge ni vägrar lyssna, as long as you refuse to listen. Quite a lot of homemade feeling with this, but I think it's quite charming. Okay, over to probably one of my rarest prog albums that I have been offered sums to sell, but I won't. I found this in a charity shop. I didn't even pay $1 for it, less than $1, and it is an incredibly rare album by the singer and songwriter and drummer Jon-Erik Axelsson. This is his second album, Spår. I think it's from 1972. It's on the label G Produktion, which was a Tumba based. Tumba is a part of Stockholm record company ran by a man called Stig Wiklund, and they mainly recorded, well, folk music, dance bands and stuff like that, but not prog music. This is very much a homemade feel to it as well, and interesting. I'm not sure if I think it's that good, but it's definitely interesting. Over to much more commercial production, but great quality, and this lady is still active and highly regarded, even if she has changed genres a couple of times. It's Marie Bergman. This is her first album. She started as a singer in the light pop group Family 4, which was a more old-fashioned version of ABBA. But then she left the group and made her solo career, and that was totally opposite. This is pop, rock. We have a very nice cover of Helpless, I mean Neil Young's Helpless, and very good singer, very good songwriter. She has a very style that's very unique to herself, and this is one of the best debut albums ever. I haven't heard all her albums, but I would regard this as one of her best albums. Oh, she looks like this. The name of the record is Mitt ansikte, which means my face. So, strange face. Her shoes. Okay, it's on Metronome, so it's much more of a commercial issue. Okay, and here's another one with Marie Bergman, Närma mig. Well, with songs by, well, her own songs, of course, but also the Swedish version or Swedish interpretation of the McGarrigle sisters' Complaint pour Saint Catherine song. Ingen kommer undan politiken. Also songs by Odetta, and well, very good lyrics and a great singer. And the studio elite, the Swedish studio elite, is accompanying her. Oh, this is a record that's quite popular and quite simple to find and really worth it. Ragnar Borgedahl, Hum Hum från Humlegården. And the title track was a bit of a hit for him. He made only 2 albums as far as I know. And this is the first one. This is the first one. The second one is harder to find but less sought after. So this is the sought after one. It was issued on the label Musiklaget. And it was a great hit again some years ago by when another singer made a version of this Hum Hum from Humlegården. Can't remember his name now, but the cover version was not as good as the original, but that made the interest for this album rise a bit. So definitely worth having. It's from 1974. Ragnar Borgedahl, Hum Hum från Humlegården. Yeah, this one has been showed by Jonas Sublime Media as well. Tommy Broman, Efter midnatt. Great album. We have Björn Jason Lynn. We have Tommy Broman, the late great guitar player. We have the conga player Malando Gassama and drummer Rolf Alex. Great, he's such a good guitar player, so this is definitely worth having in your collection. And it's on the YTF label. Okay, this is a 80s issue or 80s recording with Ulf Dageby, who was this lead singer of Nationalteatern. Yeah, I think so. And this is, he had quite big hit with this En dag på sjön on the Transmission label. It's a bit 80s in the style, and that's not always good, but still quite good. One could discuss whether Dag Vag really is prog, because Dag Vag is hard to pin down what they are. I did a video about their lead singer Stig Vig, who passed away some time ago. This is their first album, Dag Vag, on clear vinyl, very nice, on the Silence label. But still, I think Dag Vag could be included here in this group. We have another album, Sen Buddhism, live album. We have the 12-inch single, Blöt dröm, Kinesiska muren. We have 7 lyckliga elefanter, 7 happy elephants. And we have this 12-inch single, Du får aldrig nog. Okay, over to one of the most sought after albums of the Swedish, well, could we call it, it is a bit like prog, but Doris, did you give the world some love today, baby? And this is not the original one, because if I had the original one, I wouldn't even dare to have it at my home, because it's so incredibly rare and sought after. This is quite nice. This is a very nice reissue, and we have a nice autograph here by Janne Loffe Karlsson, who plays the drums on this album. More famous from Hansson and Karlsson, and also as an actor and entertainer. The group accompanying here is Heta Linjen, or they would later be called Heta Linjen, but led by Bernt Egeblad, the great jazz pianist. This is in blue vinyl, and it's very good, very good. Good reissue too. Here's another one for that Jonas showed, Egba, Djungeljam, on Sonett from 1976, with the great musicians like Åge Aleksandersen, Göran Lagerberg, Ulf Dageby, Amanda Ja, and others. I'm not going to talk that much more about that. Oh yeah, this is a bit of an odd thing that I found recently. Ellison, Wedding Bells. This is a record from 2011, and I found it at the local charity shop. The sleeve's a bit worn, and I first thought it was an older album because it really looks as if it belongs in the 70s, but it is from 2011. This is very good. I've never heard about this guy before, but definitely, if you find it, not great chance if you don't live in Sweden, not great chance if you live anywhere, but if you live in Sweden, there's a greater chance. I found this at a local charity shop, and that was a real jackpot because great music, great music. This could be considered belonging in the prog group too, not as incredibly interesting musically. It's a theater group called Fickteatern with Tom Deutgen, Leif Sundberg and Lotte Ejebrant. Människan i stan on the Amigo label. This is from the late 60s, 68 I think. But I think it is mentioned in the progressive music book. I don't think I would have bought it otherwise. It's not that incredibly exciting. Yeah, then we have the solo album of Greg Fitzpatrick, the Persiska Äventyret, and he's joined by great musicians like guitar player Lasse Englund and guitar player Koste Apetrea, among others, on the MNW label. Yeah, and this one maybe shouldn't be in the prog section, but well, I don't care. It's one of the heroes, Thorsten Flinck, and Dans på knivens ägg, even from this year. If nothing else, for the many good lyrics by the real good prog singer-songwriter Ted Ström. This artist could have won the Swedish qualification to the Eurovision Song Contest with the song Jag reser mig igen, which I think is such a good song. He didn't, and well, Loreen won with... Oh, I already forgot what that song is called. Okay, let's continue.